This area is actually 600 square meters, about a sixth or seventh of an acre, and it is super productive and in very low maintenance as well. I only spend about maybe 5 hours a year weeding it in early spring just for the sake of the creeping buttercup. But once you keep on top of it, it is super low maintenance. This is the grade mullein. In this video I'm going to show you the results of doing no dig for 3 years, and then you can end up with a little forest garden. How are you doing? I'm Martin from Gardens for Life, and I'm going to show you the Woodchip island, which is now 4 to 5 years old, and it is coming along nicely. People often ask how much maintenance is there in an acre of gardens. Actually, I only do about 5 hours a month, believe it or not. But if you don't keep on top of it, those 5 hours are going to turn into 10 hours a month. So keep putting the wood chips down. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
What do you think of the wood chip pats?
Nice.
Here's one of the fresh pats now, and it is so much better than it was, because now it's really comfortable to walk. One problem we always face in all of our forest gardens is all the vegetation tends to grow tall near the pat and then falls over. Could be due to wind or drought or even rain. You can see here, and if it's on a wet day, you'll not be able to walk through here without getting soaking wet. So we like to keep the paths a bit less narrow than this. We haven't actually done this path yet, but look at this. Isn't that fantastic? The Woodchip island is really coming along, and the Jerusalem artichokes, these are the Aurora Reuben. These are the last ones to still be active, and they also started up the last as well. And this makes for a really good habitat for birds, but also for the kids and dogs to play as well. So it's like a little jungle for them. Here, come here. Here, come here. Do you like the Woodchip Island? Good, good boy. All right. You like that. Now, excuse me. No, let's go back this way. These are actually cornelian cherries, but I'm going to have to transplant them again because the Jerusalem artichokes are towering these trees. We'll give them full sun next year. Let's see how they do. Here's the jostaberry. This is the cassel. That's the French version. It's a variety. This is a paulonia tree, and another paulonia tree, and among some white fuchsias from Belvedere House in Mullingar, and also some American elder. And here's something special that I planted here about 5 years ago now. This is the tuberous pea. So it's always been growing. It's actually been spreading too a little bit. It's naturalizing in among our other plants here. But as you can tell, the Jerusalem artichokes are dominant here, but they haven't really spread, I have to say. Sometimes they kind of clump onto the pat, and I just harvest them back here first, and it's not a problem. But in general, the Jerusalem artichokes have been very successful, and all I've been doing here is harvesting. I have not been replanting at all in 5 years. This is Egyptian mint, which is another one that doesn't really spread. This was planted here 5 years ago, but it has grown much bigger. Usually it grows as a bush and then it falls over and roots, but it doesn't really do the old rhizome action like the other types of mint. Iced tea is the only other one that does that. And this is the Portuguese kale. This plant is 4 years old, would you believe it or not? Look at that. There's a few weeds here. I have to take care of it again. The creeping buttercup has come back. I have gotten rid of it in spring, and there's still a few of them around, but not doing too badly overall with the amount of weeding that I had to do on this 600 square meter Woodchip island. If you want to see how the Woodchip island was made and some other videos of what it used to look like, I'll put some links at the end of the video. These are different types of raspberries. Here's some Jacob's ladder, which is a perennial flower to attract beneficial insects. This is autumn bliss raspberries. We have Erica over here. This is another type of raspberry. We have golden raspberries over there. Some blackcurrant and oak. Oak tree, that was the first tree that was actually planted here on this site. A peach tree, ambitiously enough, planted outdoors, but a couple of plum trees and apple trees from Aldi and Lidl, and some willow. Look at the amount of wood this willow has put on. And it's only taken up about as much space as one of these apple trees or plum trees, and they have not produced anything yet. But we're hopeful. Please let me know if you have bought some fruit trees, especially apples, pears and plums in Aldi or Lidl for £5 a piece a few years ago, or even 5 to 10 years ago, and if you have had any success. Please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Personally, I would highly recommend buying your fruit trees from a reputable dealer, not from a supermarket. Although the garden centres trees are fine too, they should work in your climate. Of course, old heirloom varieties are ideal. The kind of varieties that your grandparents would have been harvesting apples from in your area. Those are the ideal kind of ones. You got a carrot. Sometimes we take these little areas where we add on a little nodig garden here, and we just put we basically put down plastic for about a year and got rid of all the weeds. You don't have to do a year, but half a year is plenty if it's during the winter, or 2 months in the summer. And then you remove the plastic. This is just at the edge here. You remove the plastic and then you plant something there, like after you put on your compost layer. And here we just decided to spread some carrot seed that we had, some old carrot seed, and they grew. Let me just try and pull one up. There you go.
Here's the carrot that I pulled.
That's a big one, yeah. Well done. Very good. You're probably thinking, Jez, did he not wash the thing? It's good for the biome. There's a lot of tune in it. All right. Is it good?
Yeah.
Do you prefer carrots from the shop or from the garden?
In the garden.
All right, good man. And why? Why is that?
Because it tastes better.
It's fresh. Good man. Levi, would you like some? Would you like one? I hope carrots aren't poisonous to dogs, but I don't think they are. He has eaten them before. Okay? We don't give him too many of them now. But look here, at the edge of this little forest system, there is lots of berry bushes here as an understory for the fruit trees. And bear in mind, these fruit trees are only top fruit or understory trees. They're not canopy trees, because in Ireland we don't have that much sunlight, and we have to cut out the canopy layer, which you could do. You could grow a canopy layer in the tropics, for example, or somewhere hotter where the sun is more intense. These are the golden raspberries, look. They're really nice. They're still fruiting now, which is a nice autumn surprise. Early winter surprise actually. You can see the black currants are ready to go again for next year. So reliable. What would we do without the blackcurrant? And the raspberry too. This is the curly willow, corkscrew willow, and we have some ochas planted here, and they were really big ochas that I planted directly from tuber. I didn't grow them on in a pot, so that's the first time I've actually tried doing that properly with big ochas. And look at this, it's a little ocean of ochas here. So we have some aronia berries here, marshmallow, a huge marshmallow plant actually. We have some mint. This is pineapple mint. I'd like to remind you that we have 16 different varieties of mint, and they're all available, or most of them are available on our website. This is a giant cat mint, and geez, giant it is. It's like 2 by 2 meters or so, one plant. And here's a chocolate marshmallow elder. Look at it, it's beautiful. Look, it's kind of like the black lace elder, and it smells really nice. You can see the Jerusalem artichokes. This is fusau and red fusau have finished. You can also see them across the way there. See these ones here? These ones here are red fusau. Let me just walk over there real quick. This is actually where we have our orphery planted. This is the Jerusalem artichoke fusau. And this is the red fusau. So the red fusau is not finished yet, but I wouldn't harvest them yet. But these ones here, we're going to start harvesting those today. You can see the stems have, most of them anyway, have gone completely brown. So I'd say the plants are done. Now bear in mind that we have lots of them. We're not going to harvest all of them. So we're just going to harvest a small little area, maybe a square metre. And I'm sure a square metre will give us at least a full crate anyway. If you haven't seen the video, is that your staff, is it? A magic staff, is it? Like a wizard? Is that your specialty? Are you making insect habitat?
Yeah.
Good man. See this now? Look. The insects can actually overwinter in that, and that's really an ideal place for them. And Jerusalem artichokes are really good for the insect diversity. So we're also leaving all of the debris on the patch, unless we're going to harvest them. This is the Chinese Jerusalem artichoke, which is also one of the best. They're all very good, all 5 or 6 varieties that we're growing now. This is a self-seeded patch of red Russian kale. And here, this area here has been took up. There was some comfrey here. We have some white miniature comfrey, which is really nice. It attracts the bees very early on in spring. I heard of a beekeeper, I think in Kilkenny, actually growing that particular variety of comfrey a lot, just to feed the bees. Like these here, look. Early on in spring. And this is our little add-on on this side here. So we did nodig here for 2 years now. Going to cover it with wood chips, except for where we have our orphery planted. You can see they're all growing already. I'd say we're going to be sold out very shortly of the orphery, which is a bulbous leek from Belgium. And here you can see we have a few berry bushes. These are the black currants. So all I did here was actually I stuck the cuttings into the ground in spring or in late winter, and then they grew. And look what I got now. There's a bunch of plants. This is the great mullein. And great it is. Look at the height of it. Great medicinal plant. It's a European wildflower. Leaves are great for the lungs. The ears love the flower, the oil made from the flower. And overall it's really good for the insects as well. And it has no issue self-seeding in our garden. They always pop up here and there. Here's a big feverfew plant, and look at all the seeds in it. All these heads. See all these black flower heads, these old flower heads, look. If you're interested in seed saving, you can still do a lot of seed saving this time of year now, in mid-November. Take a look at our video on seed saving that we made. You can collect extra seeds in your garden and then share them with your fellow gardeners, especially at seed and plant swaps like we have a couple of times a year. And we're going to have another one in January, so we just don't have the time to deal with it at the moment in November or even December, because we're sending out all of the winter pre-orders now. We're just going to start harvesting the Jerusalem artichokes actually. And on this side here we have some thornless blackberries, and here are the fuchsias. They flower for nearly the whole growing season. Originally we put down a 6-inch compost layer, which is well rotted mushroom compost, and some fresh wood chips as well, as an extra layer of about 6 inches or 15 centimeters. And after that we simply started planting it up, and that's it. And we went from there. We haven't topped up the wood chip layer at all, and you can tell it needs to be done again because the weeds are taking over. This is a particularly bad area, but these are all fresh weeds that have actually come up. So we're going to get on top of it and actually put down more wood chips in areas where the weeds are quite bad, like the cream buttercup. If you think it might come through, if you put on an extra, say 5 centimeters or 2 inches of wood chips every 3 years, you could put a bit of cardboard down first, but only if there is no cultivated plants in that area. So in between rows of berries, for example, as you can tell we don't do rows, but in between patches of berries, or even between the Jerusalem artichokes and trees, you could put down a bit of cardboard and then put wood chips on top so that the cardboard doesn't get blown away. And it looks nice as well. And there goes the second rake. Oh Jesus. We better go for wooden handles next. And on this side here we have some beautiful black willow. Take a look at this. And some more Jacob's ladder, which is actually producing seeds. We've already collected some. This is some weaving willow. Finally we got some cutting started, and lots of berry bushes here. Ochre, Egyptian onions. And here's one of the insect piles, which ended up overgrown because of all the weeds I threw on it. But I just put a sheet of plastic on it for a year and I uncovered it. So now you can see it is much better now, except for these few bits of grass here that were thrown on top of it recently. But these paths are becoming nicer once you cut things back a little bit. You got to do a bit of property management and put down some wood chips. So it makes them really comfortable for the winter to walk, because you'll get fierce damp if it's a wet day, if it was raining and you're walking here and you keep brushing off all these bits of vegetation. Here's another old pile. This is actually all the pots, all the plants. There are still some plants here that I brought here to be planted. This is an elderberry tree that I planted from cutting not long ago, about 4.5 years ago, and look at the size of it. Lots of wood in it. We're going to harvest lots of our wood and plant them again this year. Do you want to be in the outro, is it?
Yeah.
Thanks for watching the video, and if you want to support us, you can give us a thumbs up. We'd highly appreciate it. And if you want to support us even more, you can become a member either on our website, on Patreon or on YouTube, or you can buy something from our online shop. We've got plants, tubers and cuttings available right around now actually. We're going to start sending out the winter pre-orders in the next 2 weeks. So if you're waiting on your order, please be patient. Plants are only becoming available now actually, because the winter has been quite slow to come on, which we're thankful for. Here in the Midlands of Ireland in a very mild mid-November. So we'll see you the next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Levi, how are you doing? Were you digging? You have a brown nose on you. Have you a brown nose, Levi? All right. Go this way. This way. What are you up to? What are you up to, Levi?
Levi.
Where is he? Where is he? Here, Levi. Levi, come here. Whoa. He's super hyper now.